What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Next Up Ballers podcast, where we highlight the people turning vision into action and building something bigger than themselves. This is the space where business meets purpose and legacy isn't just a word, it's a strategy. Today's episode is all about entrepreneurship, ownership, and building something that lasts. I'm joined by the founders of HigherView Tax Services, Michael Bannerman and Julius Ruffin. These are two leaders who didn't just start a business, they built a system, one that creates opportunity, jobs, and generational impact. Let's talk growth, legacy, and what it really takes to build something from the ground up. What's up, y'all? Welcome to the Next Up Ballers podcast. How y'all feeling?
Great. Happy to be here.
Good.
Thank you for having us.
Now, I have to preface this by saying I know y'all.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the rest of the world to know y'all as well. I've known these guys since, like 15, 16. And I'm just really excited for you all to get to know them so they can share their story and inspire all the listeners today. So I know that I know so much about y'all, but let's go ahead and start from the beginning. Let's start with just who you all are. So before HigherView, before the clients, before the growth, who were Michael and Julius? Let's just talk a little bit about just like your upbringing and how we'll dive deeper into like the actual business itself, but who were y'all before HigherView?
You can go first. Go ahead.
So my name is Michael Bannerman. Before HigherView, I was a kid, right? I think a lot of what happened before HigherView was just me fumbling through life. I still fumble now, but I was just trying to figure out what I wanted to do, what was going to be my calling, how I was going to help the world, how I was going to help myself. I worked many jobs. I'd done sales. I'd done 3 jobs at the same time. I was literally just trying to figure it out, right? And life kept telling me I had more potential than what I was already doing, and I just didn't know where it was going to be found at. So that's me.
Yeah.
Well, I'm Julius. Likewise, I always kind of felt like I knew this was gonna happen. This was destined. You can't tell me otherwise. Like
What part of that? What did you know was going to
the
happen?
success, the money.
Okay.
It's always been one mission, and ain't nothing else came in between it but the mission. You know what I'm saying? I always had, because whether it was gonna be stocks, a business, crypto, streaming, something, I was gonna try and make a way, because I can't do the 9 to 5. I can't do it.
Yeah, it's
I don't wanna do
definitely
it no more.
not built for everyone.
Yeah.
I think that's something that we all agree upon. So everybody's journey to entrepreneurship is different, but it all starts before the paperwork. You touched on it a little bit, but what were you all doing before HigherView? What pushed you towards entrepreneurship in the first place, right? So we talked about the multiple jobs. We said that working a 9 to 5 isn't something that felt comfortable, but there's a journey to finally make the decision that entrepreneurship was something that you decided that's what you wanted to do with your life. So talk to the listeners a little bit about that.
I mean, I go for. Are we? Can we?
Go ahead, you got it.
Okay. All right. So I worked a whole bunch of different. Well, I always been in the finance industry. I worked at Huntington. I worked at Chase. I worked at Discover Card. I did those jobs, and don't get me wrong. Like when I worked at Chase, I was like one of the highest like collectors there before I left to go do taxes. But it was one day. I was on them phones, and anybody in my Chase people know that work on them phones, I got called a derogatory name, and I was only trying to help the person, but then I reported it to my because you get micromanaged at Chase. I reported it to one of my supervisors, and he said he was going to take care of it. He said he was going to look out for me. He said he was going to report the incident. He went on vacation instead. And then, like, I followed up, like, you're supposed to give us some time because you don't want to be that person. He went on vacation, and then when I talked to him again, he didn't do anything about it. He felt like that vacation was more important than me getting called out my name, which it's told me right there and then that was it for me. I didn't like the feeling of that, and I was like, I never wanted to go through nothing like that again. So I was like, yeah, I'm done with this. And then I had an encounter with him, and he told me how much he was making doing taxes. He actually showed me, and when
Him
he
as
showed,
in Michael.
Michael, yeah,
Okay.
Michael. He showed me how much he was making, and he like liquid, like he had it in his hands, and I was like, it's like if you seen that one movie Wolf of Wall Street, when the buddy was like, hey, you show me you made this much money right now, and I quit my job tomorrow. Luckily, I had some savings. He showed me, and then literally the next week, I quit. I was like, I'm done. I just jumped straight into taxes, which I don't recommend for everybody because it'll play out different. But I was this. It wasn't no plan B for me. This was plan A now.
Yeah.
Wasn't no plan B. So that's just my story.
Yeah, I think there's always that catalytic moment where it's like, actually, I want to be doing something different. Like
yeah.
there's this level of, there's the reporting aspect, like I did not feel seen and respected in this workplace, and simultaneously someone showing you a different path that resonated more so with where you feel as though you've always been destined to go.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Michael?
For me, if I had to sum it up, it's 3 moments in my life that I think summed up to me going into this industry. First moment, I worked at Sears Outlet as a extra, early 20s. And I remember this guy came in and he made a lot of money. And I asked him what I'd have to do to become as successful as he did. And he asked me, he said, what did you get as far as grades in school? And I told him I got like 3.3 cumulative, 3.8, stuff like that, decent grades or whatever. And he was like, you will not be successful in the industry. And I was confused. I was like, what do you mean? I thought it would be the opposite, right? Mm-hmm. And he told me because I would be afraid to take risks.
That's
right?
so good.
He said, I'm conditioned to follow the line and toe the line. So he said that I wouldn't be able to do it. So that's my first thing. It was stubbornness. Like it stayed with me for so many years, guys. The next thing was I started working with a company called Primerica. Shout out to Primerica. And then there, I got to see a lot of individuals that look like me, making a lot of money, right? And it made me think to myself, why can't I be there? Yeah. Why can I not have the same thing? And it really came down to me needing to do something different. They came from the same backgrounds, looked just like me. I instantly said to myself, I deserve the same thing.
Yeah.
And then the last moment, guys, I was working a job. It paid $30 an hour. I could pay my bills. I could take care of my family. But that's it. Right? Nothing beyond that would ever happen. And I was giving that job so much of my life, guys, my body. It was a physically demanding job. It paid the rent again. And I remember getting injured. And I came back to them and I told them I'd got injured at the job. And they told me I was already injured. They said that this is something I have for my whole life. And that didn't make sense to me. And again, guys, they tried to put me back to work. They treated me like a tool, if you will, something expendable. And I didn't want that for myself anymore. I didn't want my kids, my 2 beautiful children, and, my family to see me going through that. So that's my story.
So good. That I never have heard that positioned in the way of if you are incredibly successful in school, then you will have a hard time making it far in life because you feel as though you always have to stick to the rules. That's a great gem. So let's start moving into taxes because let's be really honest, no one wakes up and is like, yes, right. Taxes. Like that is how I want to make my living. That sounds like a dream job, right? Mm-hmm. So why taxes? Why was that the lane that you all decided and incredibly successful? Nonetheless, that is not a very normal path that many people take. So yeah, why was taxes the vehicle?
The turnaround time. You can work, 90 days and make 60,000, 120,000. You really get out of this what you put into this, and if you put your everything into it, it will reward you very well. So it's one of them things. It's just a turnaround time on it. I could go hard for these 3 months and make what somebody make in the whole year, and then I got the rest of the year to do whatever until it starts back up again. And plus, it's a recession-proof business, so you're going to get a couple things out of life, and taxes, you're going to have to pay your taxes, and that's one of them, and, death is the other thing. So, I mean, it's something that you just going to have to do, so yeah. It's a no-brainer for me, anyway.
Yeah, and to touch on what Julia said, I think that last part about everybody has to file their taxes, right? One of my mentors, again, shout out David D. Berry, he used to always say it's two things guaranteed in life. One is you're going to die. The other is you're going to pay taxes, right? So why not get into those industries? Again, taxes is not a sexy industry, if you will, but everyone needs it.
We making
right?
it sexy.
Correct. We bringing sexy to taxes, y'all. That's the token right now. Again, luckily we had the blueprint close to us. Our aunt was in the industry, and we jumped in. It was an easy transition once we gave it our all. So.
That's really good. Yeah, still don't know if everybody's going to jump into taxes, but a recession-proof business is definitely a smart way to start a business. I definitely agree with that. So essentially, I know there was you hinted on you having mentors already in the business, which is I would imagine is a large part to also starting a successful business is having someone who's already doing it, having someone who's able to teach you. But then there's still this level of starting from scratch that you all still had to endure. So let's talk a little bit about that. Starting from scratch always comes with uncertainty, right? Starting something new. What was one early challenge that tested you all's confidence? And then how did you push through that early on? Because it's those initial moments, right? It's the initial challenges when we're able to push through them, then we start breaking the soil to, have some ground for success. But that can also be where a lot of people stop is when they encounter that first challenge. So let's speak a little bit about that.
You want to? I go. I mean, you want to go? Or
Yeah, I'll go. So one of the first trials that we ran into as office owners, in my opinion, initially what the blueprint said was we needed to go out and we needed to get a physical location. We needed to have a building that clients can come to, get their taxes done. This was the traditional model, right? This was, again, the blueprint established to us. Anything that didn't have that looked like you were going to be unsuccessful. We spent months scouring through Columbus, looking at different locations, and we finally found one we thought was going to be for us. And, at this point, I consider it a blessing. At the time, I felt like it was, a trial, a moment that was going to knock us back considerably. The location that we actually signed for, we spent our last money. We scraped it together. We didn't ask for any handouts with this. We worked to do it. We scraped away. It was like $2,700 at the time, and that was a lot for us. And we put it into this location, and the individuals who sold us that did us dirty. They came back as soon as we signed the paperwork. All these problems arose and just things that wasn't in the paperwork. It was a learning lesson, needless to say. But because of that, we transitioned into becoming a virtual office. And that was unheard of before, 100% virtual and being successful. But we took lemons and we made lemonade, very good lemonade out of it. And now there's a bunch of individuals that talked to us and figured it out. COVID happened right around that time, so everyone got okay with sending their documents instead of coming into a physical location. So consider it divine timing, honestly. So. Yeah, that's for me.
Would you agree with that, Julius?
Yeah, I'm just mad we never got that $2,700 back. So, because they got that money and we only walked foot in that place one time. And it would have been a great location to have.
Yeah.
But they just did us dirty. And it's like, I still feel a way about that money.
But I think, and I mean, yeah, I think anytime we lose a substantial amount of money, no matter how much money you may be making at the present time, you're still like, geez, that would have been great. And also and I think you said this so well, Mike, this was the moment that we didn't even know we needed. Right? And being able to be optimistic through those challenges oftentimes helps you to push through them in order to be successful, right? And you all experienced that fairly early on, right? Fairly early on in starting the business, but to see how successful you all are now, it is like there's also the looming question of would you have been as successful if it worked out the way that you thought it was supposed to work out, right?
Very
Like if
valid
everything was everything was supposed to just be you all stationed in one location. Now you all are across the country being able to service individuals, and that is something that not everyone in the tax industry was doing when you all decided to start doing that. So
Yeah.
I think that's a very important point of just realizing that challenges, if you handle them the right way, can actually propel you into a greater level of success than you originally thought.
And I didn't want to stop you, but there was a very big silver lining to us actually going to virtual. We didn't have to pay the rent.
Yeah.
We ain't had no overhead.
Right.
We were able to use that and then put it back into the business.
Right.
So while a lot of people were hurt, after the tax season and just kind of still trying to figure out how they're going to pay that, any money we would have put towards that, we were able to put into the business, advertise. We traveled. We got to meet with our team.
Yeah.
We got to really pour into our team in a different way.
Yeah.
So it helped us considerably. So
It's a blessing.
silver lining.
It's a blessing.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so let's start talking, leading more into entrepreneurship, leadership, and legacy.
I'll go ahead and start. For me, one of the big things I wanted to keep established with our business and our culture was transparency. Initially coming into the industry with the blueprint we had, that was frowned upon. A lot of the whole game is to be sold, not told type of, like basically kind of like wait till people get to certain points to expose them to certain things, right? We kind of had a different process with our team. We started to tell them things early. I think that benefited us because it allowed them to be in position for what was to come, right? With our preparers, we had them create their EINs and LLCs. Hopefully I'm not going over anybody's head, but as preparers. So when they transitioned to become office owners, they were already established. We were literally letting them know the journey we were going through to prepare them, right? Prior to becoming office owners, I was a stickler. I was afraid, but I also trained office owners. Okay, so I had some prior knowledge on what it took to do the job. I just didn't have the experience.
Okay.
As far as the downsides to transparency, which there are some, sometimes we were criticized for exposing too much, and that being something that could draw back for us. And the beautiful thing about it is it hasn't bore too many thorns for us at this point. I think that we have a team that trusts us considerably, and it's uncommon to have trust in the industry or in business, and I think that has extended to us in ways we didn't imagine, right? So it's a lot of things, ups and downs that have happened, but because our team trusts us, I think we've been able to continuously grow. So transparency.
Yeah, and you couldn't have set that up more beautifully for my next question, which was you all talk a lot about education and transparency. Not only have you talked about it today on the podcast, but just how you all run your business, how you all lead yourselves on social media. Talk about why it's important for your brand not only to be transparent and offer education to your employees or your office owners, but also to your clients. Why is that so important to what you all have established as a value for HigherView?
The trust aspect of it, especially with the clients. Your name, your brand, and your name is everything. Because once your brand is bad, then I feel like it's pretty much over with.
Yeah, we live in a cancel culture right now where individuals are hesitant, individuals are afraid, right? Being able to answer that pain point of being afraid with trust, I think it goes a long way. Here recently, I had a client reach out to me a little bit ago, and she was experiencing some issues where she thought someone had filed her taxes without her knowing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and she called me and she's like, hey, I've heard versions of this conversation with other individuals, and it's cussing, it's yelling, it's cuss. You know what I'm saying? It's anger. But knowing that she was dealing with a trustworthy company, individuals that are transparent, who only educated, never really did anything malicious, if you will, she approached us differently, right? And that mattered a lot. She said, hey, I just want to know what's going on. I was able to clear it up, and she still filed her taxes with us.
That's good.
So,
So a large part of building legacy is not just about building something for yourself. A large part of building legacy is empowering others to also build a legacy for themselves, right? Helping them pave the way. A large part of doing that is offering education, right? Giving the over explaining, right? Helping someone navigate a challenge that may not be something that's natural for them to understand. So when you think, because you all talk so much about legacy, is that something that you're intentional about, not only with your office owners but with your clients, about educating them on why it's important to file their taxes, or how they file, or when it comes to, now, I don't know the ins and outs of taxes, so I'm sure there's a lot more that comes with just filing your taxes, and the importance of it, and how to do it, and how to save money, and how to, govern yourself throughout the year to ensure that you're not paying as much or getting some back, at the end of the year, all the things, right? So is there this level of like burden that you all feel as though you have when you talk about leaving a legacy, and that being offering education to your office owners
I
and
would
to the
say,
clients?
no. I believe in each one teach one. So if it's something I can tell them, it don't hurt me. It don't cost me nothing to help them. It don't do nothing to me to help them. You know what I'm saying? If it's like some of my clients, I tell them like, hey, you got that LLC now, and go get a business banking account. Go so you can have all your business transactions in your business banking account. You might not need to go get QuickBooks. If it's something I can help them with, or get them a little gem because I wish somebody would have did the same thing for me, and I know this information. It don't cost me nothing to give them to them.
Yeah.
So yeah, I definitely believe in each one teach one. So
I agree with Julius. Definitely want to extend our education to everyone. There is a level of pressure or responsibility and difficulty to it, though. You have to meet a lot of individuals where they are, which is tough at times. We talk to, again, preparers, clients, office owners, all different levels of knowledge, right? I've never ran into a person that's been taught taxes in school.
Yeah. No.
Right?
nope, not at all.
So oftentimes we're starting from a blank slate, or we have to go against, things in social media, just, things they're hearing, stimulus here, stimulus there, right? And oftentimes we're being confronted with educating individuals that want this other thing to be correct, right? Want you to say, hey, I can file your taxes any type of way and get you 30,000, when that's not the truth,
Yeah.
right? And you have to give people, how do I say, you have to deliver bad information in a pretty box sometimes, right? Hey, listen, you can't get as much because you did not pay as much. However, because you're working with me, I'm going to be able to help you here, and get you this. Now let's talk about what you can do differently next year, right? So it's about presentation. It's about understanding that people are different and figuring out what each person needs from you, if you will. So it's a process. It's a lot goes into it, but again, it has been rewarding for us.
Yeah, educating people where they are is so important, right? Because you can meet someone who's incredibly knowledgeable and they just talk right over your head, right? And then also it's being able to have enough, being so in tune with not your client to understand, like, these are the things that I need to say to make you feel comfortable about not only trusting me and my knowledge on what's happening here, but also trusting that I know what I'm talking about enough for you to be successful in accomplishing this goal, or getting your taxes filed properly, or whatever else you may be helping not only your clients build, but your office owners and preparers build, because they are also, and I want to talk a little bit about that. Like, I don't know if a lot of our people who are watching or listening know the breakdown of what it means to run a tax service business, right? So talk about like the people you all have under you, how that breaks down, because that's even legacy building within itself, empowering others to also do what you do and be successful at what they're doing. So talk to the listeners about that a little bit, because it's very interesting to me.
So we've been fortunate to have a couple individuals that work with us as preparers, trust us enough as mentors to guide them into the next level, which is becoming owners, EFIN holders, and beyond, right? The tax industry has a bunch of levels to it. You can be a preparer, you can be a seasoned preparer, you can be a manager, you can be an owner. There's service bureau levels and then software creation. So there's a bunch of different aspects of it. And hopefully I'm answering the question here,
Yeah.
but our team trusts us, right? It's a lot of levels to this, okay? But what I'll say is, and again, I'm hoping that I'm answering this question here.
Yeah.
We've been talking to everybody from the beginning about going to the next level, right? Literally, as a preparer, we're grooming you as an owner, right? Oftentimes, our first conversation is, what do you want to get out of this?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Right?
Yep.
And can we deliver it every single time? No, because it's not up to just me and Julius.
Yeah.
It's up to the person as well. But some individuals have given faith to us, and we just showed them what we did. Literally, anything we learned, we show it to them. Now they have a better footing when their turn is to go do the same thing, right? So again, how it works is we have an office, HigherView Tax Services. From there, we have about 33 preparers across the U.S., all of which work with us in a percentage-based setup. They get clients. We provide them clients. They do the tax prep. We pay. Again, we're grooming them. I like to consider tax preparing as an apprenticeship.
Yeah,
You're
good.
there to learn what it takes to have the experience. From there, again, as I said, we groom them to become office owners. And they're just doing the same thing we did. It's rinse and repeat. Hopefully, our culture extends to them. They may learn that there's things we do they don't like, and they'll tweak it. Everybody gets better is the goal afterwards. You know, mentors, they use us as mentors. Some of our office owners are like family to us. So they'll just call us up, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. How do I take care of this? We've already dealt with it. We figure it out for them. And everybody grows.
Absolutely. I second that.
So flex on yourselves for just a second. So tell the viewers, like, what year you started, how many preparers you started with, and where you are now within the company.
2022.
22. Okay, I was wrong.
And we had 30 preparers. Some of them fell off. That happens. I think we had about a solid 15. You know, that first year, we did it great. I think we made I want to say the 600,000 that first year, and then the next year we made $1 million, and then the next year after that we made 2.1 million, and then it steadily increases every year passes. So, I'm excited to see where we're heading in the future. I'm very excited, but yeah, man, it was a lot of hard work, a lot of long hours. That's the part that people don't talk about. There's a lot of long hours, a lot of phone calls, a lot of troubleshooting, a lot of fixing, and just, it's no manual for none of this. So there's a lot of this stuff you got to go out and learn yourself. So that's the part, especially on the technical side. So, yeah.
Yeah, what I'll say is we grew very quickly.
Yeah.
Because we believed in trying things and finding things out. Again, it took us a year or two to figure out the blueprint, and from there we already had plans on the future, right? So our first year, like Julius said, we had a humble start, 30 preparers. Some of them fell off. We were learning what it took to keep a team. From those 15 that stayed, 5 of them become office owners.
Okay.
Right, and they were amazing individuals. They exceeded expectation. They took our blueprint and blew it out the water.
And now they making 6 figures,
correct,
and more. So I mean, yeah,
yeah. So we went on to make a lot of money with this. We paid a lot of money out. Individuals are getting successful, and it's just been up from there. We grew in a part of the industry we're in, an umbrella we were in. We were one of the fastest growing individuals to join, especially considering we were virtual. A lot of people used to ask us, how are you guys growing so quick? And as Julia said, it was a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And now our organization has about 40 people in offices in it. So it's
40
grown.
offices, and then there's preparers under that.
Yeah,
So we're
yeah.
Couple hundred
hundred people. Yep.
Yeah. So now it's just growing steadily. like I said, we don't really, we don't gatekeep. We teach everybody what we know, and we just want to see everybody go and take this as high as they can take it.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, I wanted to ensure that we highlighted that you aren't doing something small, right? So a lot of times people just don't know
Mm-hmm.
about the tax industry, and I wanted to ensure that you all got your flowers of just really saying that when you put in the hard work, there is a great amount of success in that. Now, Mike, I know you have two beautiful kids, beautiful, beautiful kids. And when we think about legacy, having children, you start thinking about legacy a little different. So when we think about you being a dad, how does that shape you making business decisions? How does that help you think about risk and future and building? Like what does that look like for you now that you have two little people looking up to you?
I had children before I got in the tax industry, and they taught me a lot. They taught me about patience. They taught me about uh, appreciating small growth,
Mm,
right?
that's
As it
good.
adds up. So with children, you see their first steps. I don't know how many of our office owners or preparers will like this, but I see them as like family and
Yeah,
like children,
children.
right? Again, not trying to say it in a way that sounds bad, but they become family, and when they grow, it's like seeing a kid take their first steps.
Mm,
One of our office owners has a restaurant, one the other has real estate. They start to do so many great things where they're starting to get things, and you become proud in extension, right?
mm,
I heard this phrase a long time ago. The only person that'll be happy about your success is your parent,
mhm.
right? Or happy about you being better than them would
But
be your
yeah,
parent,
that makes
right?
sense.
And again, with each one of them, as they get better and pass us, even I get happy because I can. I mean, I'm in the back saying this, but like I help that. You
Help
know what I
it,
mean? So
yeah.
there's a level of joy that comes with seeing everybody be successful. And my children see me work hard.
Mhm,
I don't know that they understand it right now, but they know that I care about them. They know that I do it so that they can have a better future.
mhm,
They definitely can see things scaling around them as far as like where we stay, what we can do, things
mhm.
like that. I don't know that they appreciate it too
Well,
much,
yeah, they're
but
still young. uh, we're gonna start turning the corner, but when people interact with HigherView, or they interact with Michael, they interact with Julius, and they see the success, what do you all really want them to know? So people can see a lot of exterior things. People can see, oh, they doing it, they're growing, they have the things, and I think there's a level of there's nothing wrong with that, right? There's nothing wrong with being successful and being comfortable in your success, right?
Mm-hmm.
And also, there's a part that a lot of times, especially in our culture, where people just see the exterior, they just see either what you show them or they just see what they want to see. But what do you really hope that people saw, right? Like when it comes to not only who you are, but in business, what do you really hope that people are like, I really wish they knew that this ain't whatever.
Well, I hope they see it all. I mean, I'm very comfortable with my success. I feel like, what I'm saying? You don't got to dim nobody else light to make yours shine brighter. I feel like, if you see me doing this, you can do it too. I say that all the time. If I can do it, you can do it. It's nothing stopping you from doing this but you. If you want to do it, you're going to do it. If you don't want to do it, then you're not going to do it. But if you do want to do it, we're here for you to help you do it.
yeah. I don't have much to add to that besides just like, you know, a lot of work went into this.
Mm-hmm.
We said it once before on the stage that me and Julius shared food until we got to where we were at.
Yeah, I sold my car for this. It's something you got. Like I said, it was no plan B. It was never a
That's
plan
real.
B. Once you come up with a plan B, you done already gave up on plan A,
Mm.
and this has always been plan A. So, and I always say it to every single person we meet. I say it. I swear to God, I say
He
it.
does.
You get out of this what you put into this, and if you put a lot into it, it will reward you. I say it to everybody. Everybody that heard me say it at least once.
He does that to everyone, literally.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's actually a good point to land with the just kind of like deeper questions is, what I've heard a lot from you all is exactly what Julia said. You put in what you get out what you put in. And sometimes that if you put in a little bit of effort, then you get a little bit of success. If you put in a lot of effort, then you get a lot of success. And it takes a vision, it takes a goal, it takes a goal that sometimes is greater than you or doing something different than what you've seen. Because one thing we didn't get into is just how y'all grew up. Y'all did not grow up successful, right? Right? This wasn't something that you all saw your parents do. This wasn't something that you saw your aunts and uncles do. There was so much of this that you all had to honestly be the mirror, and now you're the model of how to be successful, right? And so a lot of times we may not think of that being legacy, right? A lot of times we don't, especially when we are in the crutch of just trying to be better than what I've had it, right? We don't think that I'm also actively building a legacy, but that's exactly what you all are doing. And also by being the mirror and the model is showing the blueprint of this is what it takes to be successful. It takes going through the challenges. It takes being able to sacrifice time, money, cars, the last of what you have, right? Relationships, all the things sometimes. But if you stick to it, there is this level of success that you finally reach.
Absolutely. Amen.
All right, so we're going to move into our quick play segment. Okay, our quick play segment is this is the moment when I ask you a question and you say the first thing that comes to your mind. This isn't a long response. This is just rapid fire, an added opportunity for the guests to get to know you a little bit more. And whoever answers first, honestly, will just be the one that takes it. It doesn't have to be a volley between you all to answer both. So, all right. Here's the first one. What is one habit every entrepreneur needs but most avoids? I'll ask that a question again. What's one habit every entrepreneur needs but avoids the most?
Money management skills. Money management skills. First time we got a big chunk of money, I blew through that.
That's good. That's real. That is so real.
Yeah.
That's so real.
Yeah.
Okay. What's the biggest myth about entrepreneurship?
Everybody can do it. Everybody can't do it. It ain't built for everybody.
That's good.
You gotta have something still like inside of you. Like I don't know how to say.
No, that's real.
Like hunger.
Entrepreneurship is not for everybody.
Hunger or a beast or something still inside you. I don't know exactly what
that
it is.
dog in you. You just gotta.
That's what my sister said.
That dog.
You gotta have something that's just be like, hey, I want different. Like I don't want this. Like you kind of touched on it earlier. Like you gotta have something that just be like, yeah, I want to do something different.
You gotta be stubborn.
Yeah, that
you gotta
too.
feel like no, it's never an answer.
Or the main character. I don't know.
There it is.
The main character. That's good.
Hey, I like that.
I like that. All right. What is one word that describes your leadership style?
Transparent.
Transparent. That's good.
Transparent.
What's something people would be surprised to learn about you?
I'm pretty. I show everybody everything. I mean, like I feel like I show people too much.
A lot of people think when they see me or they think the position I'm in, they imagine that I'll be flashy or that I'll be like unable to talk to, like they can't talk to me or something like that. And I'm down to talk to everybody. I don't care what position you're in. So
yeah. All right, we'll end on this one. If HigherView was a song or a vibe, what would it be?
I would love to say started from the bottom.
Oh, I was about to say that. That's
Okay.
crazy. I was about to say that.
Look at
I
that.
was
On the
about to
same
say that
page.
same one. That's crazy.
Started from the bottom.
Start-
Now we're here.
Now we're here.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Okay. So every episode, we invite our guests to give our listeners and watchers a challenge. So we don't just want this to be something they receive, which was great, but we also want to challenge them to do something based off of what you all give them. So if you're to give our listeners and our watchers something practical they can do this week to move closer towards ownership, stability, legacy, what is something that you would challenge our listeners to do?
I'm not gonna say mine. Nah.
I'll go first then. One thing I'd challenge everyone to do is make 30 minutes to an hour out of their day where they're either praying, listen to motivational speech, or getting a dump of positivity into themselves. I think for me personally, that reset every single day changes the trajectory of my week, my day, etc. So
Okay,
really
I'm
good.
gonna say something mature. All right. I would say get in different rooms, start making yourself uncomfortable. If you're in a room where you're comfortable in, then that might be a different room you need to switch. Because, you know, like I said, you can pick up something on, like, I remember one time, where did we go? Cooper's Hawk? Yeah, and it was some type of meet and greet. It was different. We talked to a whole bunch of different people. That was actually new for me, and I felt like that helped me just to be able to mingle and talk to different people in different industries and stuff. So I say maybe get into different rooms and stuff, or just getting in different circles. Maybe go join different groups or something. I don't know. Get around some different people. I would say, yeah.
get outside your comfort zone.
Stretch your vision, yeah. I think those are two pretty good challenges. So I've heard start a routine where you are endoused in positivity, and then start networking. Start talking to people that you really don't know, that can offer different perspective or even opportunities. Well, thank you all so much. This conversation was a reminder that entrepreneurship isn't just about income, it's about impact. About building systems that outlive you, serve others, and create generational change. Michael and Julius showed us that when you combine structure, discipline, and vision, you don't just build a business, you build a legacy. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of the Next Up Ballers podcast, where our guests are built on wisdom, driven by action, and are leaving a legacy behind them. You can listen to us wherever you listen to your podcast, and you can also watch us on YouTube. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. We'll catch you on the next episode. But until then, go ball out.